Hello, I am the Reverend Douglas Taylor, and blessings upon you. It is a joy to welcome you to another episode of Digging Deeper with Reverend Douglas. Each episode, I answer a question that has come to me from a member of the congregation or somebody who watches our services online. Today's question is about Christmas, as you might assume, based out of what I have behind me here. It's a question about Unitarian Universalists and how we do Christmas Eve and what are some of the traditional readings that we have. So, of course, as you might expect, there's a lot of there's a lot of variety, and not a lot of every UU church does it this way. The other thing I will say is that a lot of Unitarian Universalist churches will at least convey the story from the Gospel of Luke, of the birth narrative. Sometimes there's also some passages from Matthew or from um, some of the earlier pieces, Isaiah, for example, or some Psalms. But specific to Unitarian Universalists, there's a couple of pieces that tend to be fairly traditional among us, amazingly. The first is a piece by Sophia Faz. Faz was a religious educator a couple of generations back, absolutely phenomenal, wrote curricula that inspired a perspective of world citizenship and seeing uh, wisdom in all the world's religious traditions. Well, she has this one passage that a lot of us use for Christmas Eve. It says, "For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way they come, born of the seed of man and woman. No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to point their way to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel the glory in the wondrous sight of life beginning. They ask, where and how will this life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping." So, my friends, that is one of the traditional readings that shows up in a lot of Unitarian Universalist Christmas Eve services. I myself use it every year as opening words for our 7 o'clock service. It's a message that of universalism, that all children are blessed and all of us participate in the holy, just as Jesus did. The other piece that's a regular in a lot of Unitarian Universalist worship services on Christmas Eve is the closing words that people use by Howard Thurman. Thurman, again from a couple of generations back, was an African American theologian and author and orator, not a Unitarian Universalist. Foz was a Unitarian Universalist. Howard Thurman was not. He's just a very deeply religious man, part of the civil rights movements in some ways. But he has this piece that we use to close our worship services on Christmas Eve called the Work of Christmas. When the songs of the angels have stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. It is the message that Jesus brought, the work of being a follower of Christianity is to find the lost and heal the broken and feed the hungry and release the prisoner. What better way to conclude our time celebrating the birth of Jesus than to remember the message of Jesus? Merry Christmas. This has been Digging Deeper with Reverend Douglas. Blessings upon you all.